Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to Cook with Joy.
Excuse me? Cook with Jake and Joy?
Oh yeah.
What about me?
Oh yeah. Actually, it really is Cook with Jake and Joy now, and it is so exciting this is our first season of doing it in the same room, which we're so excited about. But it is our 6th season of running shows with Derek.
Yeah.
Yes. We keep Derek fed and he's happy. So we're really happy that you've joined us. Our goal is to help you get more plants in your diet and learn to love them as much as we do.
In a really simple way, so you're not pulling your hair out trying to figure out what this crazy recipe is.
Yeah, because she doesn't really cook.
And I don't really cook.
No, she assembles things. Today's episode is kind of a classic example of assembling things, and you love to make these little...
I do. I go in spurts. Sometimes I don't make them for a while, and then sometimes I make like 1 million batches a day, and that's where I'm at right now.
1 million batches a day? Yeah. So we call these balls, but you can call them bites. You can call them energy bites. What do you call them, Derek?
Complete balls.
Completely balls. Completely balls. Okay.
Oh. Starting early.
We like to make a recipe with these every season because they're really a big part of our life. And the reason they're a big part of our life is because it's a way to pack tons of nutrition into this little tiny thing that you can grab. I mean, Derek, you take these all over the place with you.
Everywhere. Always have balls with me.
Yeah. And Derek has tried to make these himself, and they're actually not that hard. But the one key thing is almost all of them have dates in them. And dates are awesome for you because they have a lot of things in them that they help fight depression. They've got fiber. It's a great way to get sweetness without having empty calories. But the key thing is, Derek, you have to take the pits out of them.
The shells.
No, the pits. We made this recipe last night, and it is out of an awesome cookbook.
Yes. However, we had to make a few changes. So we were your test dummies for this. You're welcome. And now we got it right. So we're excited to share the right recipe with you.
And that's really a test too. If you're going to have a cooking show, you might want to make some of the stuff ahead of time. Sometimes we don't. Like in this season, we have a lot of things that we've never done before. So
which is going to end up funny because you get a lot of mishaps that are going to be great.
Right. And this one's no different. If you've been following us at all on Jake and Joy, you know that one of the things we like to talk about is Dr. Joel Fuhrman's idea of G-bombs. And G-bombs are like the foods that you might want to get into your diet every day. You've been doing this now.
Since you were telling me about it, I've been doing it every single day. And I just if a day is coming to a close and I haven't gotten one of the letters in, I'm like, crap. So I make sure I do that. So G-bomb is an acronym. It's for greens, berries, onions, mushrooms, beans, and seeds. And so it helps me to think about, okay, these are the things I need to get into my diet. How can I most efficiently get these things into my body today? And complete balls are a great way to get a lot lot of those things in.
No onions though.
No onions.
No onions.
We haven't tried any savory balls.
Oh, I don't know if you could do that. but this recipe gets some real superfoods into it. It's got blueberries, it's got dates, as almost all of the balls do. It has cashews, which are fantastic for you. It has cacao. It has oats. Oats are also really good for fighting depression along with the dates. So, I mean, you'll never be depressed if you eat balls all the time, right? Right?
Write that down.
And one last thing, for me personally, I have a crazy sweet tooth, so that's why I keep these balls, I kind of keep saying balls in my freezer. And what I actually do is in my freezer, because I eat them so quickly, I keep them in a container with no lid. Because if I had to get in there and pry the lid off, and it's a whole process, it's much harder. I'm gonna open the freezer, grab a ball, and I'm on my way. Balls to go.
Let's jump into the recipe. You're gonna need cashews, raw. You're gonna need dates. You need blueberries, vanilla, cacao, gluten-free oats, dried wild blueberries. Our favorite part is the complete, and if you want more information about that, and you should, just drop us a note and we'll send you a link.
Well, but first people need to know how much of everything they need.
Well, that's details.
You're like my husband. He's like, I don't know I don't know how much of anything I put in there. I'm like, well, I can't make that then.
We are going to change that up this season, and you'll notice that we have the ingredients listed on the screen for you as we go through. So we need a half a cup of cashews. Cashews are great for you for so many reasons. We also need dates. Now, the recipe called for a quarter of a cup of dates. That was nowhere near enough. So we doubled that. We used a half a cup of dates, and then we soaked them in water, and that gave it enough liquid that it would actually meld together. We also added fresh blueberries, and I did do that just by guess. I just, when we put them in the food
Handful.
processor, yeah, we're putting this all into our famous food processor.
Is that a new one?
No, you know what? I almost bought a new food processor for this season, but this guy is what started it all.
Yeah, the old steak.
5 years ago, and I couldn't bear to part with it.
You still haven't figured out how to open it.
Well, I know I'm getting a lot better at that. And I always have you to help, Derek. So all of this stuff is going to go into the food processor. So we've got the half a cup of cashews. We've got a half a cup of the dates. Now, I took that to be about 15 to 20 dates, depending on the size. You must cut them open, Derek, and take the pits out of them.
Take out the shell.
The little thing on the end as well. Otherwise, it will be terrible. And I understand that you ate those anyway, Derek.
Maybe.
It's crazy. Now, the blueberries that we added, I just kind of did it until they got until the thing got a little stickier. And I love this food processor, even though I know it's rickety, but I love it because it's got a wide open mouth and I can drop things in as I'm processing the stuff and I can see what's happening down below. We also use the cacao powder, and I love cacao powder because it's a superfood. We only use a tablespoon, but a tablespoon goes a long way. We use dried wild blueberries, once again, part of the G-Bombs, and just so cool that we can get blueberries into our diet like right away all day.
The only thing about the dried blueberries is that when we put them in the freezer, we took them out this morning, and the dried blueberries were rock hard. So you gotta let the balls thaw out a little bit before you get after it.
No frozen balls.
And no frozen balls.
Rock hard.
Rock hard.
We also have a half a teaspoon of vanilla. You could do a little bit more. I mean, you do have to work these ball recipes out for your own food processor, for where you live, etc. These are general guidelines. So it called for a half a teaspoon of vanilla. And then the oats, it called for a half a cup of gluten-free oats.
Yeah, now we get this question a lot. Why is it gluten-free? Do I need, like, a lot of them aren't labeled gluten-free. Do I need them to be gluten-free? Oats are gluten-free in themselves, but what happens is a lot of times oats are grown near wheat or transported with products that have wheat in them, or they're manufactured on
Equipment.
on equipment that processes wheat as well. So if you have celiac and you have a severe allergy, make sure to get gluten-free. If not, don't worry about it.
So this is Bob's Red Mill. They make a lot of gluten-free products, and we use a lot of them in our show. I really appreciate that they do that. They make non-gluten-free products as well, but it's a little more expensive to get them gluten-free. But if you're celiac or it's really important to you, that's kind of key. And then we're going to use 1 serving of the complete, which is about 1/3 of a cup. The blueberries, that's really up to your discretion. This recipe called for 3/4 of a cup. We made a double batch. That was the whole bag of blueberries, which is like $7 for dried wild blueberries. So I think the next time I make this, I'm going to make them just with fresh blueberries, which I think is going to solve all of our problems.
Yeah, we won't have the hard pieces or anything.
Yeah. So we're going to put all of this into the food processor. You're so bossy. We're going to put all of this into the food processor, and then we want to blend it until it actually makes a ball in the center of the food processor. Then we're going to scoop it out so you don't ruin your nails. Really important not to ruin your nails.
Your nails look nice, by the way.
Thank you. There's little fruits on them. Did you see that?
I did.
Yes, we're going to use this for the whole season. We're really excited. So then you're going to use 2 little spoons, and then these are too big. Jake made big balls. I like to make them a little bit smaller for lots of reasons. They go longer. They're easier to eat in one bite. Except Derek, you can always eat these in one bite. I don't know why. But then you're going to freeze them, and they keep really well in the freezer. They're a little sticky if you don't keep them in the freezer. But that's it. It's super simple. I have a friend whose little 8-year-old makes these himself, so they're really easy. We hope that you try your own hand at making some recipes. If you come up with something good, we'd love to know, because last season we made lemon, we've made chocolate, we made mint. We made mint at Christmas time. You liked those, Derek. And so there's lots of different ways to make them. If you'd like if you'd like some recipes for them, let us know, and we'll drop you we have a whole recipe book just with balls. There's nothing tough about this recipe, and I didn't want to make Derek wash the food processor because we're going to use it again.
Or open it.
But you can do it. And actually, I just want you to know, you don't have to have a food processor. When I first started making these, I didn't have a food processor, and we just made them by hand. They do get under your nails when you do that, so you might want to get a spoon out.
Wow, princess.
Girly problems.
But they are really simple. Now Derek has learned to take the shells, the pits, out of the dates.
Well, if an 8-year-old can do it.
Yeah, I think he can do it too. So that's all we've got for today with Cook with Jake and Joy. We hope you like this recipe, and we hope that you tune in for our next episode and that you love our show.